For centuries, Earth had been a quiet, unnoticed speck in the vast galaxy, a place where humans lived their daily lives, unaware of the grand battles and empires that stretched far beyond their stars. The great alien civilizations, with their towering ships and powerful fleets, rarely gave a second thought to the small blue planet orbiting an average sun in an unremarkable corner of space. To them, Earth was nothing more than a backwater world, primitive, unimportant, and not worth the effort of conquest or alliance. Humanity's voice was lost among the cosmic noise of warring factions and shifting alliances. But beneath the surface of this calm, ordinary world, something extraordinary had been quietly taking shape for decades. Hidden deep under the vast oceans and massive secret shipyards carved into the bedrock beneath the waves, a colossal battleship was being built. Its name was the Resolute, and it was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Designed with the latest technology, both human ingenuity and salvaged alien tech, the battleship was a symbol of Earth's hidden strength and determination. It was a sign that humanity was ready to step out of the shadows and claim its place in the galactic arena. As tensions grew between rival alien factions, hungry for power and control, whispers of war spread like wildfire through the star systems. These factions fought for control over valuable resources, ancient technology, and strategic positions in the galaxy. The conflict was ruthless, with fleets clashing in deadly battles that could obliterate entire planets. Earth watched from the sidelines, its leaders cautious, but aware that the war was slowly drawing closer to their doorstep. No one knew exactly when or how the galaxy's long war would reach the Sol system, but the signs were clear. Alien ships were beginning to patrol near Earth's borders more frequently, and reports of small skirmishes in nearby systems made it obvious the fight was coming. Earth's leaders understood that their time to remain hidden was ending. Inside the government's highest council chambers, the decision was made. Earth could no longer hide behind its peaceful image or hope to avoid the coming storm. The world's brightest minds and bravest commanders gathered to discuss the activation of the Resolute. There was no turning back. The battleship, a masterpiece of human engineering, was ready to be launched into the stars. But with this power came great risk. If Earth revealed itself too soon or acted without care, it could provoke the galaxy's most dangerous forces. Yet the alternative, waiting and being crushed, was far worse. The Council's message was clear. Earth would stand and fight if it had to. And so, as the alien fleet advanced toward the Sol system, the planet prepared for a new era. On the surface, life went on as usual. People went to work, children played, and cities bustled with activity. But beneath the waves, in the secret hangars where the Resolute rested, an atmosphere of tense anticipation filled the air. The crew had trained for years, preparing for a battle they hoped would never come but were ready to face nonetheless. Engineers ran last-minute checks on the ship's powerful engines and weapon systems, while commanders studied maps and enemy formations projected on glowing screens. Every detail mattered. The ship was a floating fortress, equipped with energy shields that could withstand enemy fire, weapons that could tear through the toughest armor, and advanced AI systems designed to predict and counter enemy moves. It was a beacon of hope, but also a warning. When the alien fleet finally appeared on the edge of the Sol system's sensor range, alarms rang out across the command deck. The Resolute's captain, a seasoned veteran named Commander Alina Voss, stood calmly at the helm. Her eyes scanned the view screen as the alien ships moved into formation, their hulls gleaming ominously against the backdrop of stars. The enemy had no idea what awaited them. They saw only a peaceful planet and assumed the humans were no match for their war machines. That assumption would soon change. Commander Voss gave the order to activate the Resolute systems. The battleship's engines roared to life, sending vibrations through the massive frame as it slowly rose from its underwater dock. As it broke the ocean's surface, satellites and ground stations tracked its ascent with a mixture of awe and fear. This was the moment Earth showed the galaxy its true face. The Resolute moved into orbit, its powerful sensors locking onto the approaching fleet. The first shots fired in this battle would decide more than just the fate of a planet they would announce. Earth's arrival as a new force to be reckoned with. The alien fleet launched their initial attack, confident and aggressive, aiming to intimidate the newcomers. But the Resolute responded with unmatched precision and power. Its weapons lit up the darkness of space, firing concentrated energy blasts that struck enemy ships before they could close in. Defensive shields flared as enemy missiles were intercepted and destroyed. The battle was fierce, and the vastness of space seemed to shrink as these titanic forces clashed in a deadly dance. Despite being outnumbered, the Resolute's crew demonstrated exceptional skill and bravery. Every maneuver, every shot, every decision counted. News of the battle spread quickly through nearby star systems. Other alien factions paused their own conflicts to watch in disbelief. How could a single battleship, from a world they considered insignificant, turn the tide so decisively? The answer was clear. Earth was no longer a quiet planet. It was a new player in the game of galactic power, one that would not be ignored or underestimated again. As the alien fleet retreated, battered and broken, Commander Voss sent a simple message back to their home world, a warning and a promise. Earth was awake, and it was ready to fight. The quiet before the storm had ended. The galaxy had changed forever, the alien fleet that had gathered near. The edges of the Sol system felt confident as they approached Earth's orbit. Believing the strange new battleship to be nothing more than a heavy planetary defense platforma, Relic meant only to guard the homeworld from small threats like pirates or minor raiders. Their commanders laughed quietly in their war chambers, dismissing the vessel as a small, slow ship with limited weapons and weak defenses. They assumed that if a true battle came, the Resolute would crumble easily beneath their superior firepower. This mistake was to cost them dearly. As the first alien ships moved into range and opened fire, the Resolute systems hummed to life in response, revealing capabilities no one had anticipated. It was not just a defense platform, it was a floating fortress designed for war on a scale the galaxy had rarely seen. Its weapons, unlike the simple turrets the invaders expected, were advanced energy cannons capable of firing precise, devastating blasts. Its shields shimmered like a force field, able to absorb and disperse even the strongest attacks. And its crew, trained for years in both human and alien combat tactics, were ready to prove their worth. The moment the first shots were fired, the Resolute responded with deadly efficiency. The battleship's energy cannons charged and released concentrated beams that tore through enemy hulls with surgical precision. Alien cruisers that had been confident in brash moments before suddenly exploded, sending shards of metal and fire streaming through the void. Missile salvos intended to overwhelm the Resolute's defenses were intercepted mid-flight by rapid-fire laser turrets, reducing the waves of attack to harmless debris. The alien fleet faltered, shocked by the unexpected strength and coordination of the human vessel. Commander Alina Voss stood at the helm, her calm voice guiding the ship through the chaos. Every move was calculated, every decision quick and exact. The Resolute was not just powerful, it was smart, using advanced AI to predict enemy maneuvers and counter them before they could be completed. Slowly but surely, the tide of the battle turned. Alien ships, once bold in their attacks, began to retreat, their formations breaking apart as more and more of their vessels fell to the Resolute's relentless assault. The invaders had come to conquer a backwater world, but found themselves facing a storm they had not foreseen. Across nearby systems, transmissions from distant stations and scouting ships captured the unexpected events unfolding near Earth. Word spread like wildfire. A human battleship had destroyed an alien fleet. This news shocked many in the galaxy. For too long, Earth had been a name associated with peace and weakness, a planet that kept to itself while empires clashed far away. Now, the story was changing. Humanity was no longer defenseless. The destruction of the alien fleet sent ripples through galactic politics. Some factions viewed Earth as a rising power worthy of respect and caution, while others saw it as a dangerous new player whose ambitions might upset the fragile balance of power. Secret meetings were held in shadowy chambers in distant star Systems as leaders debated how to deal with this unexpected threat. But even as the galaxy reeled, Earth celebrated its victory cautiously. The people understood that their battleship's triumph was only the beginning. The Resolute had revealed their strength, but also made them a target. The alien fleet's retreat was not a sign of surrender, but a promise of return with reinforcements and greater firepower. Commander Voss and her crew knew this well. Their victory had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of, but it had also raised the stakes. They would need to be ready for whatever came next, because now the eyes of the universe were watching Earth closely, and many did not like what they saw. The battle in the void was over, but the war for Earth's future was just beginning. After the stunning victory of the Resolute over the alien fleet, Earth found itself bathed in a glow of newfound respect and cautious admiration. The once overlooked planet was now a force to be reckoned with, and whispers of its power spread quickly throughout the Galactic Council. Yet beneath the surface of this recognition, shadows of conspiracy began to creep in. Not all factions welcomed humanity's rise. In the Grand Chambers, where leaders of powerful alien civilizations gathered to discuss matters of peace and war, debate raged over how to deal with this unexpected challenger. Some voices called for diplomacy, hoping to form alliances with Earth and avoid unnecessary bloodshed. They argued that humanity's fierce independence and remarkable strength could be valuable assets in an unstable galaxy filled with conflict. Others, however, saw Earth as a dangerous wild card that needed to be neutralized before it grew too powerful. These darker voices whispered in private rooms and secret meetings, pushed for covert actions, sabotage, espionage, or even outright assassination to eliminate the human threat once and for all. Back on Earth, the leaders faced their own challenges. The council that had authorized the activation of the Resolute was divided over how to proceed now that their secret was out. Some believed the battleship's power should be reserved strictly for protecting their homeworld and ensuring Earth's security against any future attacks. They feared overreaching could provoke enemies and drag humanity into endless wars. Others, more ambitious, argued that Earth should take a more active role, using the Resolute to defend allied colonies and expand their influence across nearby star systems. This debate was not easy, touched on deep questions of identity and destiny. Was humanity ready to join the ranks of galactic powers as a protector and leader? Or should they remain cautious, focused only on survival? While these discussions unfolded behind closed doors, the situation took a sudden and dangerous turn. One of Earth's most important space stations, an orbital hub that controlled communications, logistics, and early warning systems, experienced a catastrophic failure. At first, it was thought to be a technical malfunction, but investigations soon revealed signs of sabotage. Someone had deliberately crippled the station's systems, causing massive damage and putting the planet's defenses at risk. Panic spread quickly among Earth's leadership and military. Who could have done this? Was it an act of war? A message from their enemies in the Galactic Council? Theories swirled as security forces launched thorough searches for the saboteur or group responsible. The attack raised the stakes enormously. It was a clear reminder that while Earth had shown strength, it was also vulnerable to hidden dangers and unseen enemies. The uncertainty created tension within the government. Trust became fragile, and fear grew. Could someone close to the leadership be working against them? Was the sabotage part of a larger plan to weaken Earth from within? Commander Elena Voss, who had led the Resolute through its first battle, was called to a secret briefing. Experience and calm judgment were needed. Now more than ever, she understood that this act of betrayal was not just an attack on a station, it was a challenge to Earth's very survival. With her crew and trusted allies, she began working to uncover the truth behind the sabotage, while also preparing the Resolute for any future threats. The battleship was still Earth's best defense, but it could not protect against treachery that lurked in the shadows. As the political intrigue deepened, and secret messages passed between factions across the galaxy, the fragile peace that had settled over Earth began to crack. The lines between friend and foe blurred, and suspicion spread like wildfire. In the midst of this chaos, humanity had to make a choice: to stand united or be torn apart by fear and mistrust. The stakes had never been higher. The future of Earth and its place in the galaxy hung in the balance as unseen enemies moved their pieces on a dark, dangerous chessboard. The shadows of conspiracy were long, and the Resolute's guns alone might not be enough to win this battle. Tensions that had been simmering across the galaxy were now boiling dangerously close to breaking point, and Earth's leadership knew they could no longer stand idly by while innocent colonies suffered in the crossfire of alien wars. The Resolute was given a daring and risky mission to enter a chaotic war zone far beyond the Sol system where countless lives hung in the balance. The region was a shattered battlefield, caught between rival factions whose hatred threatened to destroy anything and anyone caught in between. These colonies, made up of people who had nothing to do with the grand struggles of power, were suffering the consequences of a conflict far larger than themselves. Earth's battleship, a symbol of hope and resilience, was sent to protect them. As the Resolute approached the war zone, the ship's massive engines glowed brightly against the dark void of space. The crew prepared for what would surely be the greatest challenge they had faced so far. The tension aboard was thick, but so was the determination. Commander Elena Voss knew this mission was more than just a military operation. It was a statement to the galaxy that humanity would stand for justice and protection, even in the darkest places. The battleship moved forward, cutting through enemy lines that had long been established by brutal fighting. The alien factions controlling the area were shocked to see Earth's flag boldly flying into their contested space. The battle that followed was unlike any other. Enemy ships came at the Resolute from all sides, firing their most powerful weapons in an attempt to push the human vessel back or destroy it outright. But the Resolute's defenses were strong, and its crew even stronger. They moved with precision, using every weapon and strategy at their disposal. Energy cannons blasted enemy cruisers, while the ship's shields absorbed hit after hit, refusing to give way. The battle pushed the ship and its crew to their limits, testing their endurance, skill, and resolve. Yet through it all, humanity's ingenuity shone brightest. Engineers on board worked tirelessly to repair damage and improve systems, even as the fight raged. Tacticians adapted their plans on the fly, finding weaknesses in enemy formations and exploiting them with clever traps and maneuvers. Crew's courage inspired one another to keep going when exhaustion threatened to take hold. Amidst the chaos of battle, a shocking discovery was made. The Resolute's advanced sensors picked up unusual energy readings from a hidden location within the war zone. Investigations revealed that a shadowy faction, operating in secret, was developing a powerful weapon capable of ending entire fleets and devastating planets with a single strike. This weapon, still unfinished, was a threat that could tip the balance of power across the galaxy and bring untold destruction. Commander Voss knew that stopping this weapon was now the mission's highest priority. The stakes had grown far beyond protecting colonies. This was a fight for the survival of many worlds. Moving swiftly, the Resolute's crew planned a covert strike against the hidden facility where the weapon was being built. The mission required stealth, precision, and courage, as enemy forces guarded the area heavily. Navigating through dense asteroid fields and enemy patrols, the battleship's advanced stealth systems helped them slip past detection. But as they approached the target, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. They had been discovered. The Shadow Faction's forces launched a furious counterattack, determined to protect their secret at all costs. What followed was an intense, desperate battle. The Resolute fought with everything it had, dodging powerful blasts, countering with devastating strikes, and racing against time. Engineers worked frantically to keep weapons firing and shields intact. Commanders directed fighters to protect critical points, while ground teams prepared for possible boarding actions. The fight was brutal and relentless, but the crew's determination never wavered. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity in the darkness of space, the Resolute succeeded in destroying the weapon's core systems. The Shadow Faction's deadly plan was shattered before it could be completed. The victory was hard-won, but it sent a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity was not only strong, but willing to take bold risks to protect the innocent and maintain balance. as the Resolute turned away from the war zone, battered but victorious. The crew understood that their mission was far from over. The galaxy was a dangerous place, filled with hidden threats and shifting alliances. But Earth had proven it could stand against the darkness, a beacon of hope in uncertain times. The story of the Resolute and its crew would inspire many, reminding all that courage and resilience could change the fate of worlds. The battle was won, but the galactic gambit continued, and humanity was ready for whatever came next. The final battle for the fate of the galaxy had come, and the Resolute was ready to face it head-on. The Shadow faction, desperate after their secret weapon had been exposed and damaged, scrambled to rebuild their forces and defend their remaining power. They knew that if Earth's battleship launched one last strike, it could destroy them completely and end their dark ambitions forever. Commander Alina Voss and her crew prepared carefully for this decisive moment. Every system on the Resolute was checked and double-checked, every strategy rehearsed and planned to perfection. The stakes could not be higher. As the Resolute moved through the stars toward the heart of the enemy's stronghold, a quiet tension filled the ship. The crew understood that this mission would define not only their own futures, but the future of humanity and the galaxy itself. The battle that followed was fierce and intense. The Shadow faction threw everything they had at the Resolute, from massive warships to fast attack fighters, determined to stop Earth's advance. Yet the battleship's crew fought with unmatched skill and coordination. The ship's powerful weapons tore through enemy lines, while its shields held firm against waves of attacks. Commander Voss used every tactic they had learned, anticipating enemy moves and turning their own strength against them. The galaxy watched in awe as the battle unfolded, transmissions from countless worlds capturing the fierce fight in real time. It was clear that Earth was no longer a quiet planet hidden in the shadows. It was a force that could not be ignored. Slowly but surely, the Resolute struck at the core of the Shadow faction's weapon and power. The final blow was precise and devastating, crippling the enemy's capabilities and breaking their will to fight. The stronghold was left in ruins, and the Shadow faction's dream of galactic domination was shattered forever. This victory was more than just a military success, it was a powerful statement. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's unwavering resolve, strategic brilliance, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Alien empires who once looked down on Earth with dismissive contempt now approached with a new attitude, one of caution, respect, and sometimes even fear. The balance of power had shifted. Earth had not only survived, but had claimed its rightful place among the stars as a formidable and respected force. As the Resolute turned back toward its home system, battered but victorious, the mood aboard was a mix of pride and sober reflection. The crew knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. The battleship's return was met with cheers and celebrations, but also with a deep understanding that vigilance was still needed. The era of underestimating Earth was over, and the galaxy had finally learned a powerful lesson. Humanity had stepped onto the stage not as a frightened bystander, but as a player whose strength and courage demanded recognition. The message sent by the Resolute was clear and unmistakable. Earth would defend itself and its people with all its might, and it would not back down from any challenge. The galaxy now knew both fear and respect for the blue planet and its people, a planet that had risen from obscurity to become a beacon of hope and power. As the stars continued to shine above, the Resolute stood ready, a symbol of human resilience, and the promise of a future where Earth's place in the cosmos was assured. The battleship had entered the fight, and nothing would ever be the same again.